Welcome to Live Readings. We read your work for free. Have you written a book? How about a poem? Or perhaps you're an artist. Do you have a small business and want me to read your mission statement? Send it all to onetruepromotion2020@gmail.com, and we will share your work with our followers and yours right here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Readings. I'm your host Alec, and I'm very excited to see you tonight. Tonight we are reading for three awesome authors, one of them a poet, Nancy Ann, Ime Atakpa, and Nicholas Georgel. We'll be reading for all three tonight, and we will have some bonus content for you tonight as well. We are going to have a little bit of promoing for you tonight, which is very important. But for now, we are going to dive straight in with Ime Atakpa. Ime, thank you very much for sending us your work. If you are watching this, you are watching on either Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram. If you are watching on Instagram on One True Promotion, please follow One True Promotion so that you can see more episodes of Live Readings. If you are watching on Facebook, please follow at One True Promotion, Alec Pangea-author, or Alec Pangea. If you are watching on Twitch or on YouTube, please subscribe. We need the subscribers. Thank you very much. And as I said, we are diving straight in with Ime Atakpa's Lucy in the Glass. Lucy in the Glass, Ime Atakpa. My bed is perfectly made, the sheets fresh and untouched. My room is spotless. My past life died in that room, festering with each night I've spent in this room just down the hall. I'm wrapped in my daughter's sheets and surrounded by her things, soaking in the incense of her favorite perfumes. I spray them every morning, once over the bed and once in front of the door. It keeps the aroma consistent and perfectly preserved, as it was on the 17th of March when the stretchers rolled my sweet Lucy's body from the only home she'd ever known to lay her rest in a new one. The police had to pry my fingers from my daughter's body, but I couldn't go with her. I couldn't bear the idea of her leaving home forever or seeing what my beautiful girl had done to her face. Instead of accepting an escort to the hospital, I spent most of that day huddled next to the patio door, fits of tears followed by fits of sleep, despite the blood and shattered glass. One of the officers gave me the business card of a cleaning service before he left. It's not their first time out here, he said. You really should think of moving, and stay away from the patio door until it gets tidied up and repaired. I couldn't bring myself to call the cleaners. Every time I looked at the blood, I felt her with me. I kept that clean-up business card on my kitchen counter until the smell became unbearable. One morning they showed up. By mid-afternoon, the blood was gone. The glass fragments were gone. A shiny, new door replaced the old one, and another piece of Lucy went missing. I cried well into the evening. I wear Lucy's jewelry sometimes, anything to keep her closer than the morgue, more alive than the pale doll they lowered into the earth. Each morning I prepare breakfast for two. You need to get something in your stomach, I tell her, but Lucy never eats. All right, then. I scrape her untouched food into the trash and begin the dishes. The sink faces the backyard, and light shines through unmitigated. The days are getting hotter. The patio door amplifies the heat, and my house toasts me. It's been so long since I've stood at the spot where Lucy bashed her skull until the glass splintered into her skin and her blood led into the crevices of the cracked door. Maybe this heat is a sign for me to finally draw the curtain on a part of my life best forgotten. The dishes don't seem so important anymore. My footsteps toward the door are slow and plodding, and my attention never lifts from that spot on the glass where Lucy... I still see them, the cracks in the glass. I move closer and run my fingers along what should be smooth, but I feel the jaggedness of it, little shards of glass shifting as I run my course. Oh, Lucy, I whisper, and then it whispers back, Mama, I miss you. When I call the glass company, they argue with me that their latest installation had no cracks in it. It's brand new, according to them. It can't possibly be damaged. Logic be damned. It's still under warranty. So I insist until they concede. I also insist that they do it today, but the logistics apparently won't work out until tomorrow. So I wait. I try to finish the dishes, and I'm nearly done when it whispers to me again. Come back, Mama. A thin mist condenses on the glass. Beads of heavy moisture roll down and across the panel in objection to gravity, and what remains is a distorted image, an all too familiar face. My next breath catches in my throat, and my next move is a dash to Lucy's room. The scent has faded. I am panicked, fumbling on her dresser for the right fragrance, honey lilac. I spray once around the door, then close it. I strip the covers from the bed and spray over it. My breaths are more exaggerated now, my heartbeat irregular. The next thing I remember is waking up beneath the covers, surrounded by the complete collection of Lucy's stuffed animals. My head's throbbing, and it doesn't help that someone is incessantly ringing the doorbell. "I'm coming," I yell, and even the sound of my own voice makes my ears ring. It's the glass company. All at once, I feel safer. They're quick to install the new panel, and I return to ease to Lucy's room. I tucked back in and on the verge of sleep when it calls for me again. "Come here. I need you." My eyes shoot open. My eyes immediately fill with tears. This can't be happening. Not after I change the glass. Even as I think it, cold creeps into the room. My toes stiffen. I curl them, sit up in bed, and pull my knees against my chest. It's only now that I regret buying this house, knowing that it had a history of misfortune. My Lucy was only the next in a long lineage of decent people scorned by this house, but Lucy is gone now. Everything that's left of her is in this room, I tell myself. She's gone. She's gone. Everything is right here. Within the next minute, I'm downstairs, kneeling at the glass. The cracks are all there, the same as they've always been. That ugly spot where my Lucy skull broke through is coated in frost, and I see her again, drawn in the rivulets between ice crystals. Her mouth moves. "You can still be with me." My body trembles, but I am ready. Yes. Yes, I can. I surrender control, and my head smashes against Lucy's in the glass. And that was by Ime. Thank you so much, Ime, for providing that story. Please follow Ime at iattack on Instagram. Please give him some love. He is a fabulous, fabulous writer. That was a very fine read, and I hope that you'll give them some love. Ime, since you're watching on Instagram, if you would like to share where else we could follow and support you in the comments section, please do, and I will direct everybody there. And now, folks, we are going to move on to Nancy Ann. But first, let me just check to make sure I'm not neglecting any Facebook or YouTube comments. Let's go ahead. And there are a lot of notifications here. Wowee. Wowee, wowee, wowee. All right, all right. Let's see what we've got. Okay. And ba-ba-da-ba-da. Do we have any comments? Doesn't look like it. Let's try one more page. Because I hate to neglect you guys, you know that. Keep hitting the phone. Here we go, here we go. And it looks like we are good. Marvelous. Simply marvelous. Those of you who don't know, you are watching live reading. Send us your work at onetruepromotion2020@gmail.com, and we will put it right on the show for you. Ime sent his work earlier this morning, and he was on this by tonight. So it's usually, unless we have a major lineup, it's usually never too late to send in your work. So send it in any time, and we would love to have it. All righty now. And hello, Andrew. Thank you for watching us on Facebook. We love you. Thank you for being half the magic here at One True Promotion. All right, we're going to move on now to Nancy Ann, as promised. And tonight, Nancy has given us a poem. Nancy is a great author. She has been a guest on Drop-A-Line. She is the author of multiple books and multiple poems. And this is her latest work. So much time in the day, so much to do, and yet so little time. The hours tick away, and yet so much more to do. The guilt I feel when I don't spend enough time with them. The guilt I feel when I need to work. The guilt I feel when I am just too tired to move. Lord, give me the strength to give them the mom they deserve. Work and life, but all I wanted was to be a mom. Feeling lazy and wishing I had more time to spend with them, more time to give them, the life I didn't have and the life I want for them. So much time in the day, so much to do and yet so little time. The hours tick away and yet so much more to do. The guilt I feel when I don't spend enough time with them, the guilt I feel when I need to work, the guilt I feel when I am just too tired to move. Lord, give me the strength to give them the mom they deserve. Beautiful, beautiful piece by Nancy Ann. Thank you so much, Nancy, for providing us with that. We have a theme going on tonight, it seems. It's the stories of parents and children, which is totally awesome. I am a very big fan of that. And I think we have a new comment. What's going on? Who's talking? Oh, we got likes. That's cool. I like likes. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you all for watching live readings. Any one of you can be featured on the show. If you would like to send your work along, just send it to onetruepromotion2020@gmail.com and we will put it right on the show in next week's lineup. So yes, do please reach out to us. We would love to have you. And thank you for watching on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Before we continue tonight, we hope you will enjoy this promo of our Thursday live stream, Drop a Line, where you can receive a free interview to promote your book, business, or your brand. And we are back with more live readings. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have a great team here at One True Promotion who work behind the scenes to ensure that our posts and live streams bring you quality entertainment. For that reason, I would love it if you would help me thank our members by supporting them. Our creative consultant, Carrie, is on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts to bring you tangible voices. In Carrie's words, Tangible Voices is a space where true voices from the past and present can be uncovered, shift our perspective, and resonate with our lives today. I love tangible voices. If you're inquisitive, love history, and want to have detailed conversations about our society, Tangible Voices is a must listen. While listening, please follow the podcast so that the community can grow. Our Director of Arts and Media, Nicholas Georgel, is a regular on Writing Sprints, engaging fans of One True Promotion with his live drawing sessions. In addition to Nick's terrific art, he is also a writer. Buy his book, Life is Death, The Death of Earth. If you're an anime fan, you will love this book. Like his featured art, Nick's book is sharp, colorful, and delves into conflicts both social and existential as a fiery experience with grief suddenly spreads into so much more. Life is Death, The Death of Earth had me hooked, page 1. And not many books can do that for me. Interested in meeting Nick? Follow him on Facebook at Nicholas Georgel Arts and on Instagram at Nick_Geo_arts. Thank you. Our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Andrew Bast, is the author of The Sanguinary Song, a YA mythological action novel, our co-founder and visionary here at One True Promotion. He is currently engaging his avid readers right now on his Instagram profile with the Sanguinary Song Character Reveal campaign, where you get to create your own character and hunt down mythological killers. Isn't that awesome? If you're interested in participating, follow Andrew at AndrewBast24 on Instagram, which is also where you can participate in writing sprints every Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. Need an extra push to get your writing or homework done? Tune into writing sprints where Andrew writes his book in 15-minute sprints. Want to be a guest on the show? Reach out to us at onetruepromotion2020@gmail.com to secure your spot on the next episode of Writing Sprints. Please follow us all. Buy and review our books. Reviews are vital to an author's success, and the more we succeed, the more promotion we can do for you. Real quick, for those of you who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and such, I'm going to throw up the graphic for Barker's Rules, my book. Barker's Rules is a dystopian fiction novel about a serial killer and his latest victim, or would-be victim, Melanie Greer, who is kidnapped but is kept alive and spends the entire book trying to escape from him. It is Melanie's survival story. It is the story of her battle of wits against Justin Barker, an experienced killer whom she should have no hope against, but she might surprise you as the book goes on. I've been told it's a one-day read. I've been told that the characters are very deep and interesting. I've been told that people can't put it down. And I have it on good authority, that being my own, that it is the first of 3 books. It is the first of the Meridian trilogy. Book 2 is coming out in October. And Book 3, Phantom Wound, the third and final book of the saga, which shows you how all this is going to end, is in progress right now and should be coming out sometime next year. If you are interested in the Meridian trilogy, please start by buying Barker's Rules on Amazon for $12.99 paperback or $3.99 ebook. And now, before we move on to our next piece of writing, please enjoy this opening graphic for Writing Sprints. And we are back with live readings, and we are going to continue with a couple segments of Life is Death, The Death of Earth by our very own Nicholas Georgel, Director of Arts and Media here at One True Promotion. This is an awesome book. I just got to let you know. I am very excited to read it to you live. I really think that you will enjoy it. So if you are watching, please do give Nick some love. And by following him on all of his platforms, Nicholas Georgel Arts on Facebook and Nick Geo Arts on Instagram. Please do give him a follow. And if you're curious what you'll be buying, here it is. All right. We're going to start right at the beginning with the prologue, also known as The House Fire. Daichi tossed and turned in his sleep. He reached over the side of his bed as if trying to push something away, knocking his school bag off the nightstand. He rolled over to the center and faced the ceiling, eyelids twitching. Images began to flash through his mind. At first, all he could see was an empty void. Then he saw it, the wisps of fire dancing, glowing like a lone torch in a dark cavern. The silence turned into the crackling of burning wood. Each crackle had a distinct ring to it, whether it was the low sizzling of the floorboards or the snaps of the ceiling trying to break away. What frightened Daichi the most was the smell. His nose could point out each item that was burning inside, from the chemical-ridden odor of burning couch upholstery to the engulfing aroma of paint melting on the walls. But there was one smell that stood out amongst the others, something Daichi had never smelled before. It was the stench of burning flesh. The sight of the house decaying amidst the flames was an experience that would have been emotionally devastating for anyone, let alone young, 8-year-old Daichi, who could only watch and pray as the structure lurched and groaned, giving way beneath the roaring flames. The day after the fire, Daichi returned to the house. In some ways, seeing the charred carcass of what he used to call his home was more unsettling than seeing it on fire. Even while it was burning, he convinced himself everything would be okay. However, when he looked at what was left of the walls that used to hold up his family photos and the empty ashen void on the second floor, which used to be his bedroom, where his mother would read bedtime stories to him every night, he knew that was no longer a possibility. Daichi didn't even take notice to the neighbors surrounding the yard or the men in blue uniforms searching the property. Most of them had inquisitive looks on their faces, puzzled as to what caused this incident. His anguished frame of mind was suddenly interrupted when out of the corner of his eye he saw someone running up to him. It was Mizuki Mori, the young neighbor from down the street. She was about the same age as Daichi. Her dark brown hair fluttered in the wind as she made her way past the sea of onlookers. "Daichi!" she shouted, tears flying from her big brown eyes. One would think seeing your best friend at a time like this would be comforting, but for Daichi, it only made him feel guilty. Dreaming this made Daichi sweat profusely. He lurched to the side and brushed off the covers. At the time, he didn't know how to react, but with Mori's face buried in his shirt and her arms wrapped around him, all he could do was accept her hug. The burnt slab of wood that was once Daichi's front door creaked open, and a group of police officers stepped out. They talked quietly amongst themselves, gloomy looks on their faces. One of them stopped and looked at the two children. He muttered a few words to his colleagues. Then he separated himself, walking over to them both. He was tall and broad-shouldered, with a middle-aged face. Unlike the other officers, he wore a suit under a thick brown trench coat, sporting a unique detective's hat over his neatly kempt black hair. His distinct appearance marked that he was their superior, and while he had a solemn demeanor, there was a fatherly tenderness to his presence as he gazed at the two children with remorse. "Daichi, I had no idea you were here," he said with slight urgency, patting Daichi on the shoulder. "Mizuki, I want you to take Daichi back to our house. I'll return as soon as my men are finished up here." Mori bowed and quickly replied, "Yes, father." Then she took Daichi by the arm and guided him towards the street. "Come on, Daichi, I'll make you some tea when we get there." As Mori led him away, Daichi stared back at the house. Why should I have to leave, he wondered. Don't I deserve to know what's going on? And then, Daichi snapped. He scrunched his face in anger and broke away from Mori, running back toward the house. "Daichi, what are you—" Chief Mori started walking back over to his officers, but after a couple steps, his path was suddenly blocked by Daichi, who glared at him with defiance. "No!" Daichi shouted, clenching his fists. "This is my house! You can't force me to leave!" Everyone stopped their conversations and glared at the boy, including Mori. The chief stared down at Daichi with a bewildered yet pitiful look in his eyes. During the baffled silence, the front door creaked open again. Only it wasn't police officers who stepped out. It was the paramedics. Through the years, Daichi gradually forgot the faces of the officers and neighbors who surrounded his house that day. But never did he forget the faces of the two paramedics, even in his dream. Their appearances remained clear as day. The first man who stepped out was a squat man with squinted eyes, maybe in his early 40s. The look on his face was grim. The second man was taller, possibly in his late 20s. A single tear trickled down his horror-stricken face, probably his first day on the job. Between the two men was the stretcher. Once Daichi saw the stretcher, his entire body froze as if the world had stopped. Everything and everyone around him had become irrelevant. All that mattered now was who was under that sheet. Random murmurs were heard from the neighbors. Mori gasped and covered her mouth, while Chief Mori turned around and darted over to the paramedics. "What the hell are you doing?" he said in a hushed tone. "What the hell are you doing?" he said in a hushed tone. "I told you to wait. There are children here." But it was too late. Already Chief Mori could see the horror on Daichi's face as he gaped at the stretcher with wide eyes. Limply, Daichi reached toward the white sheet covering the body. In his sleep, Daichi did the same. "Mom," he muttered emptily. Chief Mori twitched his eyebrows and looked away. "Get her out of here," he ordered. Moving with haste, the paramedics carted the stretcher across the lawn toward the ambulance parked in the street. However, when they hauled it over the curb, a wheel bounced, and suddenly a hand was visible. The sight of it was gruesome. It dangled over the side like a limp fish, charred and searing red, ridden with third-degree burns. Chief Mori hoped Daichi wouldn't notice, but it was unmistakable. The hand belonged to his mother. The image of the scorched hand burned in Daichi's head, rousing him in his sleep. Then his body lurched once more, and it was over. He fell from his bed to the floor and his eyes burst open, his mind coming back to reality. Then he rose to his feet and walked over to the window beside his bed. It was morning, and the sunlight washed brightly over the Tokyo skyline, glistening in the windows of the immense skyscrapers. Already, Daichi could see the neighbors headed for work, walking in the direction of the ever-busy Shinjuku railway station. Daichi rubbed his eyes and yawned. He ran his hands through his long green hair and fixed his bangs, which he parted down the middle due to his cowlick. He looked at the calendar on the wall and grumbled. It was a Thursday. Daichi hated Thursdays. It was a Thursday when he lost his set of gardening tools. It was when most of his classes scheduled tests. However, the day he was dreaming of was also Thursday. This was not the first time Daichi recalled that day in his dreams. In fact, he had almost grown used to it, but Daichi did not want to dwell on such grim memories. So he began putting on his school uniform. He straightened his tie, then looked across the room and smiled. On his dresser sat a framed picture of his mother and father, standing next to each other with a young Daichi in the middle. His mother was a fair woman of average height with long green hair, just like her son. She had a warm look in her brown eyes, as if there were no other place in the world she'd rather be. It was hard to believe the blackened piece of flesh he saw all those years ago used to be her clean, elegant hand, which rested on Daichi's shoulder in the picture. The glare of sunlight reflected upon the glass over the photo, and from where Daichi stood, the only portion the glare blocked out was his father's face. "Good morning, Mom and Dad," he said to the photo, smiling. He grabbed his bag and opened the bedroom door. "I miss you." That was the prologue of Life is Death, The Death of Earth by Nicholas Georgel. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. That is our show for this evening. If you are interested in Life is Death, The Death of Earth by Nicholas Georgel, please do pick it up. You can contact him privately to have a copy mailed to you. And you can pick it up, I believe, on Amazon, but I'm not too clear on that. But anyway, Life is Death, The Death of Earth is a terrific book, and you can always hear it read here on live readings. It was a joy to have you here tonight. Thank you for continuing to support the shows. And now we're going to play you out with the outro for live readings, and we will see you next week. Please submit your stories to onetruepromotion2020@gmail.com, and thank you.